Good morning, Mark Soderberg with ADM Investor Services with your morning ag outlook for Friday, December the 15th. Prices are very little changed here this morning, very little price movement with very little fresh news as well. Markets seem to be slipping into a little bit of a holiday type mode here. Corn right now is mixed within a half cent of unchanged. Wheat is down 1 to 3 in Chicago and Kansas City, up 3 to 4 in Minneapolis, and the soy complex is pretty much just slightly higher across the board. Speculative trading yesterday was mixed. Light buying in soybeans, meal, in Chicago wheat, while selling in bean oil, and pretty much flat in the corn. We do get a CFTC update this afternoon. I'll be eager to see if over the next several weeks we start to see some index fund money coming back into the agricultural space. Now that the Fed tightening cycle appears to be over, index funds holdings in the ag space is down roughly 35% from their peak back in 2022 when the Fed started to raise interest rates. Export sales yesterday were generally in line with expectations, perhaps a little bit light in the soybeans. However, that was offset with a 400,000 ton sale announced to an unknown buyer. Year-to-date commitments for soybeans are down 20% from a year ago versus USDA estimate of down 12. In meal, we're up 20% versus USDA up 4, and in corn, we're up 36% versus USDA estimate of 26% higher. And in wheat, we flipped that now, and we're actually up 3% over a year ago versus the USDA estimate of down 4.5%. We get NOPA crush out today at 11 o'clock Central. Expectations are for a little bit of a drop from the record crush of 190 million bushels October. Expectations are coming in 3 to 4 million below that figure. And oil stocks are expected to build for the first time in 7 months to just over 1.1 billion pounds. The Buenos Aires Grain Exchange placed the Argentine corn crop plantings at about 49%. Soybeans are up to 60% now. Wheat harvest has advanced to 55% complete. And oddly enough, they reported crop conditions, some increases in crop ratings in corn, while some deterioration in the soybeans. Weather in Argentina remains mostly favorable as they continue to recover from last year's drought. Conditions across north central Brazil, however, remain stressful and likely to remain that way through the weekend into early part of next week before some showers are expected to arrive. Confidence in that is not terribly high right now. I'd lean towards higher production in Argentina and now slightly lower in Brazil, opposite of what we saw all last growing season. Markets also be on the lookout for fresh news from the U.S. Treasury Department today on whether they'll allow corn-based ethanol to qualify for certain tax credits in the production of sustainable aviation fuel. Also, an interesting comment I saw overnight was in China, the government will allow GMO plantings on nearly 1.7 million acres of corn in 2024. That's more than double what they allowed in 2023. That said, however, that will only account for about 1.5% of all their corn acres. So it appears there is some growing acceptance of GMO technology in China. However, corn yields in their country have typically run about 30 to 40% below that of the U.S. So important as they strive to be a little bit more agricultural independent. So mixed, quiet trade here. Be on the lookout for some of these news items we featured. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.